let us waste no time. Let us go to the phone lines and say hello to the reigning defending UFC light heavyweight champion, the man who was successful on Saturday night, the man who defeated Volkan Oezdemir via second-round TKO, friend of the show, back once again, the one and only Daniel Cormier is standing by. Daniel, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Ariel. How you doing, man? I'm sorry, but I told you guys on Saturday night that my wrist was bothering me on my thumb, so I went and got an X-ray. And then they told me I needed to get an MRI, and I was able to get one scheduled for right around the same time that I'm supposed to be doing the interview. So thank you guys for moving me up a little bit.
No problem. Anything for you. So where are you right now, Daniel?
I'm in my car. I'm driving. Me and Selena are going from, we're in traffic.
Oh, great.
California, horrible traffic.
Okay, well, this is good.
If traffic isn't bad enough, it's raining in California, and people freak out when it rains here.
Oh, yeah. It's amateur hour over there on the streets.
Amateur hour.
Selfishly, this is good because you have a little time. I thought you were like in the waiting room about to be called, and so I was very nervous, and that's why I changed everything up. I wanted to talk about how great the night was for you and, you know, how beautiful the aftermath was, but very happy that you're able to join us. So do you think it's broken? What is your premonition right now?
I just I felt like my thumb was broken, but then I'm no doctor, you know, it's really swollen right now. So the MRI needs to go check, because if it's some ligament stuff, that could actually, ligament in the wrist and the thumb could actually be worse than actual break. So I'm hoping that it's nothing too bad. Still kind of waiting.
So are we. Okay, keep us posted. And if you have to get off, I'm not going to keep you for very long, but if you have to get off, just let me know and we'll cut this short. Want to talk to you about before Saturday, Thursday night, heading into Friday. Of course, with you, as you joked afterwards, it's always a celebration when you make weight. But now that it's over, can you tell us, was this one a little tougher? You were the last one to show up, last one to weigh in. It's always a little, nerve-wracking. You were in a cold weather climate. How difficult was this weight cut compared to some of the others?
They're all tough. It's like I went to Buffalo and had like a horrible weight cut, and then Anaheim was perfect because it was so warm. It didn't matter what I did, I was sweating. And then I was also able to go to, it's called Dojo, Leo Vera's gym in Seal Beach. They were able to kick the heat up to 85, 90. Whereas here, I was training in gyms that were at 75. So whereas I would lose 9-8 pounds, I was only losing 4.5. But they're always tough weight cuts. But on this weight cut, Tyler Minton did a fantastic job. So all week I was kind of worried because even though you guys may look at my face and I look like I was starting to bring the weight down, I felt great, right? Like my energy was great. My training was great. That worried me because it made me feel like I may be too heavy. So I only had to suffer Thursday. Every other day, I felt pretty good, man. And obviously the weight cut was tough, but in terms of my energy all through the week, I felt great. Friday morning was probably the hardest part because I only had 4.5 pounds to go, but I had to really, really work to get the weight off because the gym that I was doing the final cutting was so cold.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then on Saturday, you get to the fight, you get to the arena. You're usually a confident guy when it comes to athletics. We talked about this on Monday when you were in studio about how perhaps one unique aspect about this fight and this challenge for you is, yes, you're the champion technically, but you're coming off your first knockout loss. Did you feel any different in there?
Yeah.
Confidence-wise, were you overthinking? This is your first time coming off a knockout, and yes, you were the champ, but it was very different. Can you compare, what you were thinking about, how you were feeling in those final moments compared to when you're just, on a long winning streak as champ?
Once again, just kind of just so at ease with everything. It was kind of nerve-wracking for me because I'm usually a wreck, man. Just really am I know I've done everything. I've trained hard. This should take care of itself. But again, why am I so calm? Why am I so comfortable? Why am I so comfortable right now? I want to feel more nerves. But I think as I got close to the fight, I started to feel the nerves that I expected, and it was good. But when we talk about me in competition settings, just because I lost doesn't change anything. It's never going to make me truly doubt my ability to go out there and try to win a fight or win a competition in any way, shape, or form. So I still felt like I was going to get the job done, but I was very aware of the result of the last fight. And I watched my people, right? I watched my coaches, and they were telling me stuff, and I was like, guys, it's fine. I understand, we have to respect them, and we have to make sure that, we do everything right, but you guys don't be too nervous. I know you guys are nervous because of what happened last time, but just relax.
You still there, Daniel?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I lost you there for a quick second, but I think you were at the end of your answer. Once you got to the actual fight, once you started to exchange, you felt his power. How powerful is Volkan Oezdemir, like compared to the Rumbles of the world, compared to Alexander Gustafsson, John Jones? There were a couple times I was like, damn, DC's standing right in the pocket with him and just trading, once again, proving how great your chin is and how you could take a punch. But just how powerful is this guy?
He's powerful. He hits hard. Some guys hit hard. Like Jones doesn't punch very hard. He kicks hard.
Yeah.
Gustafsson doesn't punch hard. Rumble Johnson punches hard, and this guy punched hard. This guy had thudding power, right? Like his power was thudding. Like when I was getting hit by Alexander and by with the hands, they didn't really hurt. Like Gustafsson, he cut me because his glove kind of cut my eye, but the punches didn't necessarily feel like there was much power behind it. But this dude, he had real thudding power. That's why when I look in the mirror after the fight, I was all marked up, like red on my nose, black eye, because every time he hit you, it was like there was a lot behind it. But I'm very confident in my ability to stand and trade with these guys and take damage. If I need to get punched, it's a fight. You have to understand that and anticipate that you're going to get hit. But yes, he was very powerful.
How much more time did you need at the end of the first round to submit him?
5 seconds.
Wow.
It was in. It was just a matter of me either getting my hands back more, my right hand behind his head, because then I could really start to shift his weight forward. To get that choke off and put somebody out, all you got to do is start to move their head forward into your arm. And I had him. It was my arm was under his neck completely. I had my left arm was under his neck completely. My right arm was in the position. I just had to get it behind the head to start to shift his neck forward. If I'd have had 5 more seconds, he would have either tapped or he would have passed out. So, yeah, but it was in. It was in very good.
By the way, do you recall at what point?
How quick it was surprising how quick it actually went in, because it didn't seem like he even grabbed my hands. I don't know if he anticipated me jumping on his neck that quick.
Do you recall when you injured your hand? How early in the fight?
I don't. That's the issue, because when we were done with the fight, I was in the doctor's tent, and I felt great. And as soon as the adrenaline started to dump, I was like, man, something's kind of wrong with my thumb. And then as the night kind of went on, it just got worse and worse and worse. I was up all night last night because I couldn't sleep because my thumb just hurt so bad.
Wow. Going into the second round, after the way the first finished, you survived the early storm, if you will, the onslaught, very reminiscent of the Rumble Johnson fights. Did you know, okay, this is the beginning of the end, second round, I got him?
So, yeah, I started to kind of feel more confident because he had started to slow down.
Yeah.
It's that early rush was kind of like, wow, he really does believe that he's going to knock me out in the first round, because there's no way he can fight at this pace for 25 minutes. So when he started to slow down, I actually started to find my range, started to find my jab. And I know that guys get upset with me jabbing him because I'm so much shorter. But I'm able to hit him with the jab. And when I hit him with the jab too many times, they try to return. And I knew he would throw. And when he threw, I was able to secure a high crotch and then start to really play with his legs. And this, he's a striker. So they did a fantastic job of preparing him for my high crotch. Like, he was doing a good job of covering the head, pushing my head down, getting my pressure forward. But Greg Jones, if I was fighting Greg and I was holding Greg's leg like that, I would never take him down, because he understands the positioning so well. But when you're teaching this to people, you can teach them step 1, 2, 3, but they have to process step 2 and 3. That don't come natural. And so I just kind of beat Volkan on steps 2 and 3. where he would defend the high crotch, and then I would just get him with the next level of technique to get him to the floor. And once we got to the floor, I tried to go KC control, Leandro's favorite position, and when he fought direction, I was able to mount him. And from there, it was just my transitional jiu-jitsu to dominant position.
What about that "Let's go DC" chant inside the TD Garden? What a difference a year makes. Did you hear that? And if so, what are you thinking when you hear that? I've never heard that in one of your fights before.
I've never heard the "Let's go DC." Generally, when I fight, you do get some DC chants because I get booed on the way in. And then when they watch me fight a guy like Jones, who's 6'4", and I'm 5'11", and I'm way smaller, but I'm the guy that's pressing the action. I'm the guy that's going forward. I think people can't help to cheer for the little guy, and you start to hear the DC chants, but this one was kind of throughout the entire fight. I haven't gotten that type of reception from the crowd for a really long time, probably since I fought Antonio Silva.
Wow.
Or Josh Barnett in San Jose.
Wow. That is amazing. Credit to the Boston crowd. A beautiful moment afterwards. You get on your knees. You're so thankful. You're so happy. You're talking about winning the belt and the trials and tribulations. You're also putting over your teammates. It was just great to watch. How does that compare to when you beat, because when you beat Rumble at 187, you pretty much said like 6 words and walked off. And some people were almost upset that you didn't allow yourself to enjoy the moment or get emotional. This time it was a lot different. Just what you were feeling inside. How does this one compare to when you fought Rumble the first time and then eventually won that belt at 187?
Oh, it felt great, man. It felt great to take it all in. I went through a rough knockout in July, so to get back in the winner's circle, to get my hand raised again, to get the belt wrapped around me was a tremendous feeling. And I just want to take, as I get older and as I get close to the end of this deal, I've got to really take time to appreciate everything that I've done and I've accomplished and just really live in the moment, and not make it about someone else. Like before it was about, Get it together. I'm over here waiting. We need to fight again. Right now, it's like, take it in, Daniel. Enjoy the work that you and your family and everybody have put in, and enjoy what you've accomplished. So, yeah, just to really sit in the admiration of the fans and talk to Joe Rogan, who's a friend of mine, and just really experience that moment together was great. I truly enjoyed it, and it probably is the first time that I've done that, like really just taking it in. And Gustafsson fight I did a little bit too, but in this one, I felt like I just took in every part of that victory, and it felt good to have that.
Yeah, underrated thing. I love that you called him Joey. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you told me this story about your son the morning after 214 that has now exploded everywhere. We were a little far. There were lights in your face, but I was totally crying when you were telling me that story. I mean, that just got me right in the heart. It was incredible. And it makes it even more incredible that you brought your son and daughter to this fight after experiencing that. Why did you decide for this one to finally bring them to a fight, to have them there in the arena to experience it all? Because you don't know what's going to happen. It could happen all over again. Why did you decide this time to do that?
It could have happened. I could have gotten knocked out, and my kids would have seen that. And, they were surrounded by 50 people that love them so dearly that they would have gotten them through it. And the UFC would have went and gotten my kids and brought them to me so that they could see that their dad's okay. But it's time for them to start to know, because I'm always gone. I'm always at practice, and I'm always at the gym, and I'm always gone. And my son gets to watch, and my daughter, she's not very interested in going to the gym and watching me train, but my son kind of gets to watch it a little bit, but doesn't truly understand what his dad does. Why does dad have to miss certain things? Why is dad always gone every day? And it's time. And as I start to get towards the end of this deal, I want to see it on videotapes and stuff like that. I want him to experience it. I see guys like Andre Ward, and his kids have always gone, and he told me it's just special to him. And I really wanted my kids to experience what dad does as I start to wind this thing down.
You've said this a couple of times now as I start to wind this down, as my days are getting a little bit numbered in the sport. Do we have a hard out? You're about to hit 40. I've never heard you talk about this so much in a post-fight interview. Have you, like, do you really believe the end is soon coming?
Yeah, I mean, at 40, you know, I've always said at 40, it's over, you know, so I've said this could be the last year of my career. This is, I mean, I say could be because we're not truly at a year yet. Come March,
yeah,
we'll have 12 months at max left, you know, so if I'm not, you know, if I'm not done, I'm going to be done by March 20th, 2019. I won't be fighting again.
No ifs, ands, or buts. We've heard this in the fight game before. A guy like Bernard Hopkins famously lasted like 10 more years after he said he was going to be done. There's no chance you're fighting past March of next year.
I'm not done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to fight, part because I'm going to lose service down there. I'm going to be done at 40. Yeah, I won't be back. It won't be, you know, jumping around, or I'm done until I get the right type of fight. It'll be over. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. You know, I've said time and time again that I've lived a great life in sports. I've loved every moment of it. My family has revolved around sports, not only my family today with Selena and the kids, but also my mom and my dad. I've been the center of the athletic universe for my family for a really, really long time. And it's time for that to be little Daniel and Marquita. It's time for them to be the center of our athletic competition. And I just want to be one of those crazy dads that gets to yell on the sideline and just go crazy and kind of brag about his kids. You know, like, yeah, my kid won this tournament and my kid won this gymnastics competition. That stuff excites me, man. I've always wanted that, and I've had my time. I've been doing stuff since I was 15 years old. I've been wrestling international competitions and going to the Olympics and the NCAA championships and fighting in Strikeforce UFC. So I've had my time. I've lived a lifetime in the spotlight. It's okay. I can be done with it when I'm 40 years old.
You know, like 3-4 months ago, I loved the idea of you going back up to heavyweight, winning that belt, and proving once and for all that you are the greatest of all time. Now I don't really like it anymore. I kind of just want to see you continue to dominate at 205 and stay there. And this came up like minutes after the fight, Dana saying he wants to see you versus Stipe. What do you think about this idea? I know the Kane thing is there, and you're very clear if he's there, you know, you're not going to even touch it. But let's just say he's not there. Do you have any interest in going after that belt?
You know, I've talked about this time and time again, and people keep asking me, like, look at the size difference between me and these dudes.
Yeah.
It's like they want to see me fight these big guys, you know, so that's not on my radar right now, you know. I'm just going to try to figure out what's going on with my hand and see what's next. You know, I mean, it's not like I'm fighting small guys. I mean, Alexander Gustafsson could be a heavyweight. So it's not like fighting at heavyweight is the only way to fight big guys. I mean, Gus is a big guy. So, yeah, I'm just going to hang out right now and see what's next and see who presents himself as the next challenge.
Do we have time for 2 more questions?
You got time for 2 more.
Okay. If you can lay it out, if you could book it, how do you book the next, 14 months? How many more times do you fight and against who? Can you lay it out for us? What's the perfect scenario?
I don't really have a perfect scenario, because if I start to think, well, it'd be great if I beat Gustafsson in July and then beat Jones in December. Now it's about them. It's not about them anymore. It's about me. It's my story. I don't care who I fight over the course of this next 14 months. It's going to be who's deserving. My legacy, my career is not tied to beating Alexander more convincingly this time or finally beating John Jones. Doesn't matter to me anymore. It's about me and what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I have to be okay with my career when it's said and done, and my career is good with me when it's said and done, whether I beat Jones or if I have to beat Gustafsson again or if I never face him. I'm fine with everything.
Last thing, you said leading up to this fight, and it really resonated with me because it was so honest, that you felt that there was a stench that you had to get off, that you had to re-earn that belt. Yeah. And you said afterwards that you feel like you can call yourself a champion. Is the stench gone now? Do you feel like 214 is finally gone? It's in the rearview mirror. You're the champion. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yes, I feel like I am the champion because I won the fight for the title on Saturday. That stench is always going to be there because, as I've told you time and time again, my losses don't leave me. I wish they did. I mean, there's a guy that beat me in my very first youth state championship final. He beat me 2 years in a row, and I remember his name because those losses don't leave me. You know, it's like I just remember those types of things. I think that's what motivates me to be who I am. So, yes, the stench is washed off right now, but the loss will never go anywhere. It's going to stick with me for the rest of my life because that's who I am. I could go out and beat him 2-3 times in a row, and those losses would stay with me because that's just who I am. I don't want them to go because they're part of my journey, right? The good, the bad, they're all part of what makes you who you are completely. And I just want to be the best Daniel Cormier that can be. So, yeah, it's all part of the journey. So, yes, I am the champ. I feel good. I feel like I've washed that stink off me of getting knocked out because I got my hand raised. But the losses will stay with me forever.
I don't think it's possible for me to have more respect for a competitor and a human being. You know how I feel about you, DC. Thank you so much for coming on. You're an incredible ambassador to the sport. We're so lucky to be watching you in your prime, and I'm a little sad that you're leaving in a year, but I'm honored to be able to cover your career and these fights and the ups and downs. It's really a privilege. So thank you so much, DC. Congratulations on the win, and good luck at the hospital. Please keep us posted on how that goes.
I will, Ariel. Hey, thank you so much, man. Ariel, best in the business. Thank you, homie.
Thanks, my man. There he is, Daniel Cormier, the reigning, defending UFC light heavyweight champion. I know I've taken some heat over the years for banging that DC drum a little louder than others, but I just can't possibly hide it. I mean, I just can't possibly have more respect for someone who has been through all the ups and downs,